A plane is a flat surface that extends forever, and we need 3 points to make a plane. So when we kind of classify rays and segments, they're parts of lines. Okay, so a line requires 2 points, so does a ray, so does a segment. Okay, so those all require 2 points. If we get 3 points, what we get is a flat surface that extends in every direction. Okay, so if I had like these 3 points, A, B, and C, okay, the surface that kind of touches all of these, I'm going to draw it like a rectangle on the paper, okay? If you imagine that just kind of spreading out across this piece of paper, well, that would be a plane. And if that piece of paper just kept going, that would be a plane. It's just a big flat area, okay? If you look around the room, look up at the ceiling, it's probably a big flat area. It's like a plane, okay? Imagine that ceiling extending forever. That's what a plane is, okay? And it's important to understand that you only need 3 points to make a plane. That's the whole idea, the concept behind tripods. If you've ever seen a tripod, like for a camera or for a tool of some sort, where it has 3 legs, that's the most stable version of something that you can create. Okay, because by using a tripod, you're creating a plane with 3 points. So the bottom surface, okay, creates its own plane with those 3 points, which makes the thing stable. It'll never rock, okay? If you were to take a stool that has 4 legs on it, sometimes it's a little wobbly, but if you take a stool that only has 3 legs, it'll never be wobbly, okay? Because 3 points make a plane, and so it creates stability, okay? So it's just a kind of a neat fact. But again, a plane is a big flat surface that extends forever in every direction, okay? And for the plane, we just label it using 3 of the points. We just say plane ABC. That's it. Okay? And I just have to make sure they're points that allowed me to create the plane. Like if I had all 3 points lined up, I wouldn't be able to create that plane. Okay? Because they're lined up, well, it creates a line instead. Okay, so there just has to be 1 point that's not in line with the others in order to create that plane. So when we talk about those 3 points, and when we label it, we want to use 3 points that aren't lined up either. Okay, so speaking of things that are lined up, let's talk about collinear. Collinear is just a fancy way of saying the points are on the same line. Okay, so co meaning to like together, and linear meaning line. So they're together on a line. Okay, coplanar is together on a plane, so all points that are together on the same plane. Okay, so that's the idea behind collinear and coplanar. Okay, if I look at something like this guy, it says name the line that goes through Q and T. And so if I look at that, that's this line right here that's kind of going up and down through this plane. Okay, and so there's lots of ways. There's a couple ways we can label a line. I could just use the 2 points that it describes, Q and T, and I could draw the line symbol above, okay? But notice there are other points on that line, like N, so I could use something like N and T, okay? And that would be the same line because all those points are on that same line, okay? Or I could just call it something like line M, okay? Because that little lowercase cursive M that's down there. And there are other ways to label this. We could do TN or QN or something like that. But again, the idea is clarity. As long as it's clear that I'm talking about a line and it's the line that goes through those points, I'm good to go. Okay. It also says name the plane shown. So again, I just picked 3 points that are on the plane. You'll also notice that down here in the corner, there's a letter that's all by itself that's not representing a point. That's a way of representing the plane as well. So I'm going to call it plane and just literally say plane P. Okay. Or if I don't have that, I just name 3 points. Plane VRQ. Okay. And again, the only 3 points that I can't use are R, Q, and S together because they're lined up. Okay. Name 3 collinear points. We already talked about this. The line that we were talking about before had Q and T and N on it. All right, so those would be 3 collinear points. Or we also have another 3 collinear points. Do we see 3 more points that are on the same line? Yeah, hopefully you see R, Q, and S. Okay. Coplanar points would be 4 points that are on the same plane. And so for this one, once again, I would say something like V, R, Q, and S. Even though R, Q, and S are all on the same line, V is also on that same plane. They're on the same flat surface, okay?